Welcome, everybody. My name's Tammy. I'm here with my fearless crew. I'm here with my son, Robert. He works with me full time. He and I have been working together for the past it's about 8 years now, I think, Rob. And we've taught and trained people online and successfully in the digital marketing space. And so when my son, my husband, and I come across an opportunity, we can't help it but share it with other people. So that's what it is about tonight is a new opportunity that we found out about just literally months ago. And I was checking it out before I saw my friend LaFonda's post on Facebook. She's right here, an amazing friend of mine. I've known her for 13 years. We share the same birthday. Our birthday's next week. We share the same birthday and we've always stayed in touch. And, so if you know anything about me, I look for about five things when I look at a company to promote and to advertise. But most importantly, what this Zoom is here about tonight is I want to share our results of the product. And so I'll have my husband talk probably maybe towards the end. I just want people to understand that when you look at a home-based business, you want to make sure that number one, the products work. And I know a lot of people talk about that and say that, but in fact, maybe Bob, you want to talk about it now before David starts. David, what kind of time frame are you on tonight? I just want to kind of ask you, are you okay for Bob to talk first and then you do the comp plan? Just kind of let me know where you're at on that. Because I can have you talk first and then my husband can talk about what he wanted to talk about tonight. So I'll just ask to unmute David here. There he is. Hi, David.
Hey, hello.
How
How
are
are you?
you? I just informal Zoom here tonight. I'm not live on any of my channels. I am recording it, but did you want to go over the compensation and then the testimonials at the end? I mean, we can edit it and then, for everybody to listen to. It's up to you.
Absolutely. However you want to you want this to roll out, I'll be more than happy to unfold it the way you visualize it.
Okay, well, why don't we go ahead and do this? I'm going to tell a little story. I have never talked to you personally, David, but I've spoke to your wife, Brooke, and when I talked to LaFonda, I says we're kind of in this crisis, like we have to find something for my husband. I'll give everybody a little bit like of a story on that, and then you can kind of chime in on the compensation. We'll go through that. But how this all evolved, I just want people to hear the backstory because this is how amazing things start. And you never want to say never because when we were looking and searching, I found LaFonda's post and then she three-wayed me into a chat with your wife, Brooke. And Brooke actually voice clipped me and said, "This is what I think your husband should take." And this was in May. And so from that point, Bob and I ordered the package and we got it to us. We got the package to us. And then from there, we were just like, wow, we got to start sharing this because you almost immediately start feeling results. That's just how we wanted to present this tonight. But I just can't thank your wife enough because it was really that pivotal point to know exactly which direction to go in. And that speaks volumes that people are so helpful in this company because you don't see that often. You just don't see that often. And you're the VP of sales, and here you are on a Wednesday night with us to cover the compensation plan. So I just want to thank you for that. My husband and I have been self-employed for 37 years, and we're just like, wow, we're just like bouncing around thinking, wow, we've really found a great opportunity to share with people. So I'll just let you kind of take it from here and just cover and tell a little bit about yourself. But I just wanted you to know and thank your wife again for us because I've already thanked her like five times. And I just wanted to thank you and then thank LaFonda and of course Tanya. We've met her and we met James. I mean, we're meeting so many people and making so many friends. But thank you again for being here.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Tammy. And we're so happy to hear that you're feeling better and your Bob is feeling great too. And
Mhm.
you know, we have in the United States a pandemic still of inflammation within the cells of people. And this is caused by 10,000 ingredients that is approved in the United States in our food by the FDA that is illegal in different countries. So we are the wealthiest and most unhealthiest country because of it. When you put toxins, colors, and pesticide, fungicide, herbicide, pesticide. The word "cide" literally means death in Latin. Uh, Suicide, homicide, genocide. We spray death on our food, and we spray, and then we eat it, and this causes a havoc into our system. And that's why I think that there's no other company out there like VitaHealth. There's no other company out there systematically has a system to approach the body to what we know today as epigenetics, where you create the environment and the environment then performs the perfect cell, perfect gene. Every 2 years, your body is brand new. You have a brand new body. Every cell in your body replaces itself every 2 years. And the question is it going to be a healthy cell or is it going to be a cell with oxidative stress, inflammation, mitochondrial dysfunction? What's going to happen within that recreation of that cell is largely almost 100% um, determined by the environment of what we call epigenetics, the environment that forms the new cell. And so what the Vital Health products do, and that's my new puppies. I just rescue, found them on the street running around, and now they're here with me. So
That's
we
awesome.
yeah, so that's the whole story. We'll talk about it later.
Can't wait. We love
Yeah.
dogs. We
Yeah,
love
so am I, it was like I saw them, they were skinny, I come out of a home meeting and I was like, whose dogs are these? Little puppies, like 6 month puppies running around, fending for themselves. So this is where we're at. That's what's happening. And this is the reality of what we're facing. And there's a website right now where you can see the deaths live, what's happening, and by categories. And cardiovascular health is number one, every 3 seconds. And then another men and the women die of cardiovascular disaster. Then it's cancer, diabetes, and it's like every time. And this is something that this is a reality that we're living. We have 175 million people in the United States that are pre-diabetic. 175 million people. Do the math. That's 50%, and 30% are children. That's bananas. If you think about it, that's absolutely bananas.
Wow.
I went to Italy, and I don't want to go on a rant because this fires me up, by the way, so I apologize. But I went to Italy, and I ate. And I went for 3 weeks. This was last year. I ate in that period. My diet was pizza, pasta, once in a while fish, and coffee and cake. That was my diet the entire time I was there. I ate 32 pieces, like whole pieces, by the way. A margarita pizza is like, you want to be my friend? Take me out to go get a margarita pizza. So, so I loved it. I didn't gain a single pound. I felt amazing. No inflammation in me whatsoever. And I'm here researching Chat GPT and what's happening. And come to find out, the Italians only approved 300 ingredients in their food. We approved 10,000. I was coming back crying. I was like, I can't do this in the United States. It's not possible. I will be I'll forget it. The inflammation in my hands, the under my eyes, that my bones start hurting, my muscles start hurting. Things like your body lets you know that was not the right choice if you do that here. But in Italy, I was able to do it just fine. Eat bread without any problem whatsoever. So it just I say all this with the intention to just saying that there's a big problem that's happening out there, and every business out there that's created is designed to solve a problem. The bigger the problem, the bigger the business, the more money there is actually, because you're solving a big problem, right? If you go out and you serve the many, service to many leads to a big business if you're serving others. And I'm a firm believer in the golden rule. I'm a firm believer in biblical principles where I tell my team and my children all the time, hey, listen, if the secret to success was given to us 2,000 years ago when a carpenter in the mountain says, so whoever asks you to walk a mile, you go two. You just go the extra mile for people. You go the extra mile in anything that you do. And I tell my children, hey, if they're just going into the job world and getting jobs, and I was like, that's good for you. Understand that, I was nice compared to boss. Uh, And so I'm letting them say, hey, do always do more than what you get paid to do. That's an investment in your future. When you do that, eventually people notice it, and people say, you know what, this person gets to go get it. She goes out there. So I'm a firm believer in that. And when it comes to vital health, there is no other company out there like us solving a problem that is clearly a huge problem here. And I can go on with the statistics all day long. Since in the last 10 years, autism has risen 18% across the United States. In California alone, 25%. And the statistics go up and up, what's happening. And so what we do and what our mission is to help people reconnect back to the way things were intended to be. Let thy food be thy medicine, and thy medicine thy food. The creator of whatever you believe in, the creation itself, designed things to be for us to go out there and approach our health holistically. It is no accident that the sarsaparilla root that increases your red blood cells by increasing your oxygen. That's no accident. That was by its own nature and by design. It's no accident the valerian root calms the nervous system and you're able to create new neurons within your brain that helps memory and helps with depression and helps with lack of sleep. There's that those these nature of herbs and adaptogens that we use, it's no accident that they were that way. They were designed that way, and it was designed by an intelligence that we've lost contact with. We lost contact with the reality of things that all the answers are always going to come when we go into the land and we go and we look at these herbs that we're marketing and putting together. I mean, that the answers are there. But we lost that. We lost that connection. And it's a sad thing to see, but we believe that if we can make a difference in someone else's life, if we can just put that, throw that story of the mother and son just walking down the beach throwing starfish back into the ocean. You heard that story, right? And then
Yep.
and then the mother says, I made a difference for that one, even
Mhm.
though there was thousands of them in the beach. That's how I feel. I feel like that, the pharmaceutical industry is huge. It's $1 trillion industry. I'm probably not gonna change anything from that. There's too much money involved, but I can make a difference in one person. And that to me is powerful and it's worth going out there and building a business around it. So that's what we're doing. And I'm excited about this mission and what we're about. Now, Tammy, do you want me to just go straight into the compensation plan and just kind of break it down, or?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, essentially, I mean, like for Bob and I, we weren't looking for another, income stream, but we're just like I think that people it kind of goes hand in hand. We've talked about this. We've been in the finance arena for 37 years and we're always like, what do people always really need? And it's money. Money's like oxygen, but also their health. So it kind of is like hand in hand. So if I feel like, yeah, it would be a really great idea for you to touch upon, some parts of the compensation plan and how people can get started with it. I know we've changed the packs and the names, because I had a lady signing up right prior to this, and she was like, and I was still saying the older, so if you can
Right.
go through that, would that be great?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I don't know if who's my audience here. Am I talking to people that have industry in the marketing, industry in the network marketing, or entrepreneurship, or what do you say
And everybody
is
put in a chat for
avatar here?
Yeah, can everybody put in the chat for David, like where your background is? I know Bob up here to my left, yeah, Comsey there. He's already running with it. He's already got some members. So you've been in the network marketing space. Basically, where I come from is affiliate marketing space. So this is a lot different for us even, for the
Got it.
terminology. Yeah,
Got it. Got it. Okay. Just to that way I know how to direct this and how to explain it, how in depth and explain it as well.
sure.
So we can ultimately the network marketing industry. I've been a part of the industry now 25 years. I, I walked into my living room one time, and my mother, this was in the 1996. My mother was there, and she was listening to another lady who was pitching her Amway. You guys remember Amway? And I know I see some smiles here. So they were drawing circles in the living room, and it was my first time seeing it. I was nice. I was like, I don't know, 16 years old. I looked at it and I was like, this is interesting model. And I don't know why I stayed behind, but I watched the entire presentation. And I told my mother, if you don't want to do this, can I do this? Because I need a job. So I want to, this makes sense. You build a distribution by leveraging the efforts of other people. And every time you share it, it's a new distribution point. And if I share it with someone in Dallas or Fort Worth, or in my case, the surrounding cities, or outside, that's a new distribution point. And how much did it cost me to expand my new distribution point? Distribution point usually a franchise will cost you 50, 100, 250,000 if you want to expand distribution points in franchise model. When the network marketing doesn't cost you anything. So to me, that just made a lot of sense from the very beginning. I was like, okay, so I can expand distribute every time I share it and someone gets excited about the model. They also have a distribution point that I get a percentage because I share the idea with them and I support them with a system so they can go out there and build a customer base, and at the same time also have build their own distribution points. Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. And so I got in the industry then, and some people wanted to be doctors, some people want to be lawyers. When I saw this, I just wanted to be a professional in this industry. And it took me a while, it took me almost over a decade for me to actually make full-time income. But in my 14 year in the industry, with two couple of different companies that I was with, we rocked and rolled, and then I was able to earn my first seven-figure a year income. I was one of those guys. Had tremendous results. But what impressed me the most about that in the industry was the ability to earn a reoccurring revenue stream income. Don't for the work I do for a season of my life, get paid for many, many years afterwards. And I was able to in that time with that company. I was with the company eventually ended up shutting down because the founders passed away. God bless their souls. Um, but I worked there for a good 4 years where I dedicated my life, but it paid me $7 million in a stretch of 7 years. And so it was, and I'm not saying that to pat me myself in the back by any means. If you know me, I don't throw out numbers like that. All I'm what I'm giving you is just the example that for the reason this is a liable business model that is very profitable is that in the idea that you can build leverage reoccurring revenue income. Then I say that very specifically because the income comes from the reoccurring revenue that comes into your distribution business. You can build it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then after that, that build is already done, and the revenue income continues to come in long after we stop working, which is just a great model because of it. So I'll explain to you a couple of things about the compensation plan that we have here within Vital Health and why this company is very special when it comes to this. One thing is that we have is like we want more customers, right? Essentially, this is a distribution of customers. Walmart wants more customers, Apple wants more customers, Amazon wants more customers. You as an entrepreneur want more customers, and within Vital Health, we want more customers. So we want to create a loyalty bonus program. We created a loyalty bonus program that keeps customers consistently coming back every single month. What does that mean for you? Well, that also means for you a consistent revenue stream income that comes in every single month. And we have like this, the loyalty bonus. This is for customers and also for affiliates as well. As you are consuming our products, whether you're a customer or affiliate for 2 or 4 months, out of every purchase, you're gonna receive 10% back. Out of 4 to 5, 4 to 8 months, 20%, 9 months, 30%. What happens with that money they get back? Well, it goes into an account where you can watch it grow and you can use it to buy more product at an 80% discount. Now, our products are already an incredible price point, by the way. Our average product is $30. I mean, I have a product right now that 175 million people need that are pre-diabetic called S Balance. That product is $27.50. And I have over 40,000 testimonies of people that stopped taking metformin and insulin because of this product. And by the way, the doctor did that. They didn't do that on their own, and we didn't suggest it for them to do that. We never do that. That's a no-no. But the doctor did that for them, took them off the metformin, took them out. Over 40,000 testimonies I have on the $27 product. Can you imagine? And now this product is coming into the United States. And we have 175 million people that just that one product alone they need. 175 million people. So we have a we did this loyalty bonus. I don't see anybody if you're a pre-diabetic or have diabetes. I don't see anybody getting off of that product. They will buy that product consistently every single month, especially the fact that it's $27.50 and it's all herbs. So very, very affordable, accessible for everybody to be able to use. Then we have what is called influencer bonus. Now, I want to be candid that you don't have to be an influencer. This is just the name of the bonus because it implies that you have influence over one person. So if you have just influence over one person, you can capitalize on this bonus. And here's how it works. It works in two ways. It works digitally. So when you get started within Vital Health, you have your own website that's coded to you. You have your own back office as well. You have a ton of support that you have within the system. You have trainings available. You have now coming up in the next 30 days, we're gonna be including funnels for you. So you can have your own personalized funnel where people put their name and number. It sends you an email that they will watch the video, and then it starts a follow-up system for you. All that available already for you, by the way. That's in the works. And the next 30 days, that's launching. But this right here is also next level. So here's how it works. Let's just say that you know a retailer, or you're a retailer yourself. You use us as a vendor. So you buy $200 worth of wholesale product from us, 200. You get to retail that $200 as high as $400 if you wish. So you make 100% back on your investment. Not a bad deal. But the company says this, the next $200 you purchase, we're going to give you an 80% discount. So you only pay 40 bucks. Okay, just stay with me on this one. You only pay 40 bucks, but you still get to resell it at 400. So you buy $400 worth of retail product for 40 bucks. That's what I just said. So in earnings, you can if you buy $40 worth of product and you can sell it as high as 400, you make $360. I'll give you another example here. S Balance, which is the product that I was referring to. It's really 27.50. That's an error right here. So S Balance is 27.50. Yeah, you can resell as 50 bucks. Roughly make $27, about 22.50 you make. But then after $200 of the purchase in the company, that same bonus, that's the same product, it lowers down 80% discount. So now it's 25 bucks. You still resell it at 50 and your profit is 45 bucks in this example. So it's incredible. It's incredible what we have here. This right here. And you say, how are you able to do that? Well, we are giving you the manufacturing costs. That's what it costs us to manufacture. The $5, $6, $7 you're buying products now at an 80% discount. That's our manufacturing cost. So we're treating you as if you're the one that invested the $15 million laboratories that we have. I mean, that's what the way we're treating you, as if we're giving you our profits, which is very exciting, very exciting. Next, we're gonna transition now because now we've been looking at savings and we've been looking at retail sales. We're gonna transition now into building a network and going out there and sharing with other people and what that compensation plan looks like. First of all, we have what is called a first order bonus. First order bonus means that as someone getting started into the business, they have an opportunity to choose a starter pack, and they just change the names, but no, but the idea still is the same. We have the basic, the basic. What is the other one? The basic is the second one is the
Builder.
builder, the
I had to
pro.
memorize it, but I'm looking at it.
Oh, thank you,
Cheat
thank
sheet.
you,
Yep.
and the elite is the platinum.
Yeah, see, the
So,
products are helping the noggin.
nice, nice. So, and as people choose one of the starter packs, there's volume attached to that pays you a commission between 45 to $270 upfront. This gets paid weekly, and they provide weekly paychecks for you. Because that's one way we get paid. It's called a first order bonus. The second bonus I'm going to share here is the percentage bonus. The percentage bonus is also real nice. What it does is for you to go out there and do a presentation. If you do a presentation for sidelines or uplines or downlines, whatever, you get to partake on the commission of the first order bonus of anyone that you personally present to. That is not in your. They don't even have to be in your team. Just anybody that you're going out there and helping, you're going to be able to earn a first order bonus as well. Yeah, so very, 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 very powerful. This is like the equivalent of real estate. You bring the client, I bring the house, we split the commission. That's what that is. I want to tell you the next thing is how to get paid on your team this building. And we are not a binary compensation plan, by the way. I'm about to show you a binary compensation plan, but we're not one. We're not that. We're a unit level comp plan, but we have a binary bonus within the compensation plan. So I let me to explain that. Here's how the binary bonus works. Okay, every starter pack, if you see on the right hand side, you see 100, 150, 300, 600 BV. Every starter pack brings that binary volume. As people are choosing those starter packs, they are accumulating within the binary structure that you are starting your business with, right? You have one on the left, one on the right, and they keep building. And also, by the way, people from above you, as people are putting in people, also that also falls underneath you. So all that volume that from people that you never met and from work you never did also falls underneath you and it counts the same way. So as your team is growing and volume is being accumulated by the starter packs that are being purchased within your organization, you have the left side and you have the right side of your team. This is what is called a 50-50 match, non-flush in binary. What does that mean? That means that if you have to do a 50-50 match. So if you have 100 in volume on the left, you have 100 in volume on the right, it does the match and it pays a percentage based on the rank that you have between this one's between bronze and diamond, you have up to 20%. So in this example that we're looking at, you have 9,000 on the left, you have 10,000 on the right. So you have 9,000 there and within 10,000. So it pulls 9,000 from the left, it pulls 9,000 from the right. It does the match and it pays in this example a 15% profit margin commission. And that we're looking at here at $1,350. Now, what happens to the $1,000 in binary volume that's left over? It gets rolled over to the following week so you can do more matches within the two lines of business that you're building. So this binary bonus is pretty aggressive. I want to tell you, 20% is very aggressive, and it pays up to $25,000 a week is the cap. And we have several people that have already capped this out, by the way. So it's nice. Then we have what is called check matching, and check matching is just saying that for every person you personally introduce to the business, you're gonna go ahead and gonna earn 50% of check matching of whatever they do, whatever they earn. The company just says they just look at what they earn. They don't take it from them, by the way. They get their money, but the company says, I'm just going to multiply 50% of that, 0.50, and I'm going to go ahead and pay you whatever they earn within the compensation plan of the binary bonus. So this right here, if you for an example, you have five people that made $5,000 this week. Just this one way alone, you're making $2,500. An example, 50% check matching. Very, very, very aggressive. That is as well. Then we have a car bonus. We pay up to $500 a month if you decide to want to apply this towards your car. Obviously, cars cost more these days, right? But every hundred helps. I like to joke around that if you find $100 bill on the floor, you probably bend down and pick it up. And if the wind blows, you probably run after it too. So every hundred helps. Now, if you don't want the car bonus, I choose the other option where they send me $830 worth of product every single month. That's what I choose. The product to me is gold. So I choose that every month. Uh, then we have what is called I'll share with you last. This is called a unit level compensation plan. Unit level means that it's you're one level and everybody has one level and everybody has their own level and you go wide for every person you introduce. It's just going wide and then they have their own level and then it becomes a multi-level. So, so the unit level they pay. Here's how I'm not gonna go too deep into this because there's too many numbers, and I don't want to. We can dive into it later some other time if you guys want to do that. But we pay 10% our first level, 10% our second level, 20% in our third level. And from the fourth level down, there's an infinity bonus between 2 and 14% infinity bonus. What is those percentages? Well, those are the percentages that are being paid out on the reorders of customers and affiliates within your organization as well. And so it's very, very aggressive. This compensation plan is extremely aggressive and very, very profitable. Some of the average incomes that we have here between bronze, silver, and sapphire, you're looking at 220, 370, and $700 a month. Gold 1,500, platinum is 2,400, emerald 4,000, diamond 7,500, double diamond 16,000, triple diamond 38,000. And there's much, much more. There's people earning. I have people in my team currently earning 80,000 a month with our company, and they've been with us for only a year. So we have some incredible results. Now advancement bonus as well, meaning for every time you advance in a rank, which is what forces you to advance in the rank, is by having X amount of volume and team members within your organization. They're creating the volume, the sales volume, and as volume increases, your rank increases. And advancement bonuses also get paid out between $100 and $250 in the first three ranks of discounted product. The card bonus in the rank of gold, cash bonus of 500, 1,000, 2,500, 5,000, 7,500 between platinum and triple diamond. And there's so much more. I'm telling you, there's already people earning here $150,000 even extra a month. And they're doing it in Mexico, by the way, which is kind of gnarly to think about. Kind of wild. We also have an exciting incentive trips that are just next level. We're going to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. All expenses paid. All you have to do is hit the rank of gold for 2 months consecutively, and they pay your trip to Puerto Vallarta. And if you still want to come with us, just an option for you to buy in and pay for it as well. But the incentive trips are incredible as well, ready for every single one of us. Um, so to become someone in the company, we have an annual membership of $29.99, and that gets you a business, literally a full-blown business of support system, gets you training, gets you an online marketing back office that is next level. The what we're about to launch is, I'm telling you, it's like well, what you're going to be able to do with your back office now within Vital Health it's like having $1 billion company. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I'm blown away when I see this the results of what's going to happen, Tammy. And you're going to see some incredible individuals come in here, online marketers. They're going to be able to come in here and really blow it up with a new technology that we're launching within the next 30 days. So all that is available for you for just $29.99 a year. And so Now, we also have what is called a starter packs. And I'm going to show you some of the starter packs we have. We have the Elite Pack. Don't listen to the name yet. Elite Pack is going to, the new slides are coming down tomorrow, I believe. The Pack is $1,200, but it gives you $3,300 worth of product, retail product. So it's a good deal to get. But what it also gives you, which is very, very exciting to me, is that we're doing this for the first 1,000 people that choose to be here with us within the Vital Health and they choose this pack. We're going to bring you in and give you a share of the company, 1% share to be specific. And here's what they do. They take 1% of the sales of the United States total in Canada. They take 1% of all the customers coming in. They're going to put it into a form of a bonus. They're going to pay dividends, 1% dividends within that bonus. They pay it out at the end of the year. So obviously, that paycheck is going to be small in the beginning. We're just getting started, right? So it's just brand new. But one day, let me tell you, I feel we're going to be a $200 million company. One day, I personally feel we're set up for a 500 million, even $1 billion company. We're going to be, and when that happens, that check gets really interesting. Now, I do want to, just for full disclosure, we're not looking for investors. We don't need them. You do have to do a little bit of work, but it's so minimum the work you have to do. We want you to work with us and build this company, share this business with other people. And it's so minimum. When you find out the little bit of work you have to do, you're like, that's it. I was like, yeah, that's it. We just want to do it together. That's why we're bringing you into the profits of a company. I mean, again, my first company, I hate to bring up Amway, but that was my first company. If Amway would have said to me, David, I'm going to give you 1% of the sales of Amway in the entire United States, I would have been like, yes, please. I'll take 1% of Amway. But that's what we have. And that's what we have available. Now, if you say, well, David, $1,200 is out of my budget, not to worry. You have what is called the basic pack that has great products. I mean, you have I believe $400 worth of product for $200. You have the builder pack, which is the silver pack, $300, and again you got $600 worth of product. And you have the pro pack, which is the gold pack, and that gives you $1,200 worth of product for $600. So you got options here. And the question everybody asks, David, if I choose the basic pack, which is $200. But later, I want to upgrade to the elite pack. Can I do that? The answer is yes, you can. We don't punish you. We don't punish anybody. This is not a hard close for limited time only. This is one time. Either you sign in the dotted line, give me your first child, or this no deal. No, none of that. I despise car salespeople style of closing. Not that I despise car salespeople; they're great people. My father-in-law is a car salesman. Love the guy, but that style of closing is not how we do it. This if you can start at the lowest pack if you want to try the product for 2 weeks and then say, you know what, I want to upgrade after later on. We let you do that with no problem whatsoever. Just get in where you fit in type of program. So this is our compensation plan and what we're working with. I feel personally that it's a very powerful compensation plan and very aggressive. Ultimately, we pay close to 57% of the compensation plan, which is again very aggressive, especially being a product company. We're able to do that because we own our own manufacturing, and we're able because of the own the manufacturing, we save money that typically other companies are utilizing and have an additional expense that we don't have. So we're able to do this kind of things that what you're seeing right now. So Tammy, let me know if there's anything else I can say or do. Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, David. Does everybody understand? I mean, can anybody like see themselves 25,000 a week? I mean, that's crazy. That's just crazy. And I've seen Joel's like, "Yep, that's me." He's over there. Why not? Right? No, that's really amazing. And I just think that when you said about the founder's position, the platinum pack, well, we call it elite now, to think that people can participate in that. And I think to get the 1%, they have to become silver. and I think that's only three people, right? I believe. So, which is right. That's
Correct.
amazing.
Silver. You're at
Yeah,
silver. You have 2,500 in group volume. Very, very easy to do. It could easily be the first rank in the comp plan without any issue. But it's yeah,
right,
very easy to
exactly.
do.
Well, and what Bob and I did was first we came in. So this is kind of another little story. We came in. Well, I have to back up. We got a scan. We got a body scan from a gal that's local here, and she was just so sweet. I don't know if anyone knows her. Her name's Zephora. She was actually a celebrity chef, and so we met her here locally. And my son and my husband and I, and she did a body scan on all three of us. And we're like, okay, well, let's get into this business too. Rob's got the scanner right there. So she did that for us. And then, of course, Bob's going to tell a story tonight. So everybody stick around. Still, we got lots of stuff to talk about here. Try to make this Zoom really, really fun and exciting for everybody. But I just want everybody to know that I've never been so excited. I have been just bouncing. Well, I think it's also the product. I'm telling you, David, this stuff is amazing. But the one of the
Good.
things what she didn't come from the point of the business either. And that's what I love about this. When you start sharing the products, the body scan, I mean, the business is second nature, honestly. And my husband and I have talked about this a lot because, like I said, we were searching for a year and a half for him, to find something that would make him feel better. And his results are amazing. If you want to hear, it's incredible. I'm still in shock. I told Brooke yesterday, I said, I'm still actually in shock a little bit to what's going on with Bob. But does anyone have any questions for David? David, if you do have to go, if anyone
I
has,
got I got about 14 minutes, and then we have the natural remedies call.
that's right.
It's
That's right.
a
That's coming up.
product information call that we have with testimonies. So
Yes.
we'd love
Okay.
to have every single one of you there, and you have the ability to also win some free product because we
Okay.
do uh, we do free giveaways during that call.
Cool. Yeah, I'll drop
So,
the link down for everyone.
yeah,
So what we'll
please.
do is we'll have Bob, if you want to just kind of share, and then we'll have this to where Rob will probably have to fix the recording. But well, we want everybody to have this recording for if they have a YouTube channel or whatnot. But anyway, this is my husband Bob. Him and I, we've been together for 37 years. It seems like it's longer. This year will be 34. We have a 4-month-old granddaughter together, and it's amazing to be able to, start this legacy with her now in this world. So, Bob, I'm just going to let you share, and we'll take it away from there. If you want to ask any
Okay,
questions afterwards, everybody, you can
sure.
stick around.
Okay. First and foremost, I want to start out by saying that I mean, my wife can obviously attest to this. I don't really do Zooms. I don't get on these types of, things where I actually promote anything.
Nope.
I'm not,
Time in
I'm
12
not,
years.
I'm not an easy sell. Um, I was in sales for a number of years in my own life, and I'm a very difficult person to convince of something. So I just want to lay the groundwork right there and just so everybody understands pretty much what I'm like. I mean, as far as my belief system, you have to really, really actually prove something to me. And what kind of gets me a little bit like wound up or a little emotional is that my journey started back in January, actually January 31st of 2024. I went to the hospital, and after getting my blood work pulled, um, I had an obstruction to my bladder. I'm just not going to bore people here, but I'm going to try to give you a quick story and let you know where I'm at today. I come when the emergency room doctor came in to me to talk to me, she says, your kidneys are literally shut down. You have no kidney function hardly at all. You're at 5%. So if people don't understand kidney disease and functionality of your kidneys, I'm going to try to give you a little bit of a backdrop on exactly how this works. So I was technically considered I should have been dead. Uh, in the eyes of the doctor, they were surprised I was still alive. And so they immediately catheterized me. They went through the processes. They had to go in the hospital. And they said, okay, well, here's your blood work. We're going to send in the kidney doctor, which is called a nephrologist. And he said, you have stage 4 chronic kidney disease. It's called CKD. And you have stage 4. And because it was based upon an injury, you have to kind of give this time. Hopefully your kidneys will bounce back. And I said, well, what's the likelihood of my kidneys bouncing back? And he says, well, do you have a history of diabetes or any history of high blood pressure? I said, I've had high blood pressure. I said, not history of it. I said, diabetes? No, not really. I said, I've had some elevated blood sugar, but no diet, not actual diabetes. And he said, okay, then you should be fine. He says, you just got to give it time. So this basically was something I listened to for the foreseeable future. I had to go to numerous doctor visits, and each time I would go into the doctor, they would simply tell me that just give it time. Well, the needle wasn't moving at all. I wasn't getting anywhere with this. And I said, my numbers, they wouldn't be actually improving at all. I said, this is kind of like a little weird to me. And they said, well, you have to give these things time. It was a severe injury you had. I mean, you almost died. I just need to make this very clear to you, sir. And I was like, okay, you made this abundantly clear. So I went ahead and for the course of the year, all the way through 2024, I went back and forth and they just kept telling me the same thing. Well, on my annualized visit that I had to go to my nephrologist in January of 2025 this year, he looked at my blood work and he says, his whole tune changed. He says, you're never going to have normal kidneys again and you're never getting better. He said, all you can do, and if anybody's ever experienced this with their kidneys, all you can hope for, if this has ever been told to someone else, is to maintain your levels and do not drop those levels any lower. Otherwise, you put yourself in serious jeopardy. And to give you an idea of what levels are in kidneys, they're called creatinine. There's a term called BUN. These are all acronyms they use. And there's GFR. Well, your BUN and your creatinine are kind of gauges of how your kidneys are actually processing the blood through them. My original, I'm just going to give these numbers. I'm going to give you my updated numbers. My BUN originally was close to 82. Okay. A normal number is 7 to 16. My creatinine was 11.2 on January 31st of 2024. My GFR was 5, as I'd already mentioned. That means your total overall functions of your kidneys. So on January, when I met with this doctor, he says, your kidneys aren't really getting any better. And he says, you're at like 21 GFR. And he said, your BUN is really not moved and your creatinine is 3.4. So the creatinine came down and that's nice. They told me I'd have a baseline of 3.4 to 3.5. Creatinine would never go below that level. Don't ever hope for it. Don't ever expect it. You're just setting yourself up for a fall. So I said, okay. Then I had a revisit in April this year, at the end of April. And as soon as the doctor walked in, he looked at me and he says, how are you feeling? I said, what do you mean by how am I feeling? I said, I'm okay. I have good and bad days. And he says, I got to really sit down and talk to you about your numbers here. He said, you're actually starting to slip further. He said, your GFR is now 18. At 15, we put you on dialysis. And he said, your creatinine's not, it's going up too. And your BUN is like, at that point was like 60, 65. And he said, what are you doing differently? I said, I don't understand what you mean. I said, I'm not doing anything. I still think I eat right. I said, I exercise. You told me this would stabilize and eventually hopefully get better. And I said, now you told me in January that never expect that. He said, well, now we're talking about a different picture here altogether. I need to refer you to the dialysis education team. And I need you to get on the kidney transplant list. I said, whoa, this is a little bit too much to actually take in all in one visit here. I said, what do you mean from where I was on a kidney injury to now I'm talking about dialysis? And I said, how's that all going to play? And he says, well, you're on dialysis. He says, and you go through that. And I said, well, how long am I on that? I didn't know nothing about this. He said, on average, 4 to 5 years. I said, 4 to 5 years to be hooked up to a machine that's going to actually let me continue to live. I said, all right. I said, I have no other options here, medication, nothing. There's nothing you're telling me I have that I can work with other than what you're telling me. He said, not at this point. He said, your numbers are never going to get better from here. Keep that in mind. Never get better. I've been a doctor for 30 years, a nephrologist. Nobody at your level right now can ever hope for that. I said, okay, this is really this is pretty damning to me, so to speak. So I went home and I was in a deep depression for about 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I had my daughter telling me she would actually be willing to give me one of her kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "We're a blood match, Dad. Hopefully we can match and I can do this." She just had a child 4 months ago. She says, "I will donate one of my kidneys to you." So it was a pretty emotional time. I said, "Okay, this is getting really, really ugly to me." And I'm thinking, okay, well, the end is near for me and I just have to prepare for it. And I mean, I'm just giving it to you real here. So I went ahead and I started doing everything I could. And this is the end of April. And I had a revisit on May 9th. They wanted to check to see where I was at because they used to have 3 month revisits. I went from 3 months to 2.5 weeks. That's how close they were. They were monitoring this. So when I went into my visit on May 9th, and all along I changed my diet even more. I cut out all proteins out of my diet. I was drinking hydrogen water religiously, and I was exercising more. I'm thinking, hopefully, this is going to move the needle. Didn't move the needle at all. This is May 9th. So then I started taking Vital Health products on May 15th. And quite honestly, I didn't have a lot of hope here. I mean, I was just like, okay, I'll do anything, I'll throw anything at this point. On May 15th, I started them. Within 2 weeks, I have to honestly say my energy level went up. It was almost like I didn't really understand how this was happening. My energy level increased. Anybody understands kidney problems, your energy is pretty low. My energy started increasing and my clarity of what I was actually, how I was able to think, that exploded. I mean, I was not really being able to put my finger on this, but everything with blood, with kidney problems comes down to your blood work. And my next revisit was July 2nd. So I said, okay. I said on July 2nd, this will tell me everything. If I'm not getting any better, then I'm going to have to accept my fate and I'm going to have to grow up and be a big boy here. So on July 2nd, I go in and talk to my PCP, not my kidney doctor, and she says, "I'm going to pull your blood work and I'm going to put a rush on it so you can see where you stand." So I went back into my kidney or my PCP on this is a week ago. She got the blood work back to me literally on July 3rd, the next day. When I opened up the results, I sat there for a moment and I looked at these results and I said, "Is this for real?" Now, I want everybody to remind everyone my GFR was 18, okay, in April. My GFR went from 18 to 30. That's your overall kidney function. That takes you from, in the eyes of the world of kidney damage and kidney disease, it takes you from stage 4 to stage 3. I reversed stages. My creatinine went from 3.4 to 2.4. And my bun, which is the other reading marker,
Yep.
literally is normal.
Yep.
There's like literally, I'm smack dab in the middle of normal, not just like high normal. I mean,
Yep.
I'm totally normal. So this is all spanned within a matter of less than 2 months
Less than 2 months, everyone,
of taking these products.
that
I
he's
can
been
sit
on
there and
this.
say, well, it's other things, this and this, and I'm doing those. Yeah, I do other things too. But why is it that I wasn't getting any energy level on anything else I was doing? My mind wasn't clearing up. And all of a sudden I start taking these, and it's like all the
Yeah,
vital health products. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, really? Seriously? And I look at my blood work and I haven't gone back to my nephrologist, but when I go back to him, I'm hoping at the end of August it's continuing to get better, continuing to get better. And I hope I can just say to him, I know you've been a doctor for 30 years, but don't keep telling people that it can never happen.
exactly.
Because that's ridiculous sounding to put that label on somebody and just expect them, because like even David said, anybody can actually repair themselves. You can eventually get back and regrow your cells. And actually, if you go through the processes and get the garbage out of your body. And that's pretty much along the short. I mean, I'm very passionate about because, like I said, it comes back to I don't promote nothing. Other than it's my wheelhouse, I will talk about it in the finance world. But when it comes to health products and it comes to anything with getting on a Zoom, that's not my cup of tea.
We turned
Okay.
him into a
And
believer.
when I started experiencing this, I said, you're actually a selfish individual if somebody actually goes through this and they don't share this with their family and their friends and everybody they know. You're literally being selfish because if you're experiencing something this good, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to keep this to myself. I think, okay, I'm getting better, but I'm not going to do nothing for anyone else. That's just simply wrong and ungodly, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to get like religious or nothing here, but when you start talking, people telling you you're going to die, you start getting touched with the source. You start actually having a little bit different outlook on life, how things work. And when you actually swoop down that low to actually saying, this is where you could end up very shortly to where I am today, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I can't even, other than the products and maybe something else that maybe intervened here, I have no other way to describe this. That's pretty much what I want to say.
Thank you, Bob. That's really incredible. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm like, I could just scream to like a million people and say, you got to get on this product. That's where my frustration lies because it's just like, we got to tell so many people, you know what I mean? I'm sure you feel the same way, David. It's like, share, right? I appreciate you sharing here tonight. I mean, honestly, to see, I was still in shock. I mean, if you guys saw I don't know if we can do it, but literally the numbers, the before and now afters. I mean, there you go. So there you go. Hopefully that was compliant, David, and I can use this for my social media because everybody has to hear about this. Thank you so much for sharing. This is what I tell people, it takes a whole army to make sure that people are getting better. And it really does boil down to if you feed your body with what it needs, you are going to heal itself. You know what I mean? And so I'm just incredibly grateful. Like Bob says, he never rarely ever gets into businesses like this with Rob and I, and here he is tonight on a Wednesday night sharing. So thank you again. I appreciate it. Yeah, David has to get going. Totally understand. They have Brooke is on with the next Zoom. But if anyone has any questions for us, certainly stay on. Disclaimer. Yep, you have to always say the disclaimer. We are recording this, and so these products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But again, there's a saying. I think a saying that I wanted to always say. These herbs don't heal. No, nope. They give your body the nutrients they need to heal itself. So there you go. Right. And so, when we're all like our busy lives and things like that, just stop to think, hey, and one of the reasons why Rob and I got it is because we own a big marketing company. We have our Fearless Freedom movement, but when I was mentoring people, they would get on the Zooms and they would just sit there, and I was like, I told Bob, and I'd get frustrated. He'd see my frustration. We'd get off the Zoom and I'd be like, is anybody home? Does anyone have a pulse anymore? So, it's like, it's what they're putting in our foods. It's what they're putting in the air. And it's like, you got to have some energy in order to do things. So anyway, that's another reason why I personally got into it. So I could help people feel better so that they would actually do better and make more money, honestly, in the money making space. So if anyone has any questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording. And that way, if you have any questions for Bob or I, you can ask us now.